USD 305 board meeting to order for June 6th, 2023. Please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The first order of business is to approve the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve? Do I have any amendments to the agenda? No. Do I have a motion? Gabe?
To approve the agenda.
Do I have a second? Jim seconds. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried 6-0. Next on the agenda is the recognitions and presentations. We have some You Make a Difference awards from Jennifer.
Good evening. Staff members are nominated by colleagues to receive the You Make a Difference Award for their support of students and for the mission of Salina Public Schools. Board of Education members surprise recipients during their workday with a lapel pin and a handwritten note. 2 were delivered before the end of the school year. 1 to Ryan Stewart, Athletic Director at South High School. Ryan is known and appreciated for his uplifting and a positive approach. He organized active brain breaks for staff, fostering belonging and camaraderie. He creates relationships that cultivate respect and appreciation. He takes time to chat with students who almost always have a smile on their face while they are speaking with him. Thank you for making a difference, Ryan.
I think we should give him a hand. Thank you.
And the second was delivered to Patricia Bandre, a reading specialist in our district office. Patricia exudes genuine excitement and is known for her love of learning and helping others learn. Her enthusiasm connects with teachers and benefits students. She builds relationships, delivers professional development, helps onboard new teachers, and much more beyond her traditional duties. Thank you, Patricia, for making a difference. Thank you.
Thank you, and I think I can note that Jennifer Kamian is now our Director of Communications. Is that what we should now be calling her? Yes, congratulations on your new title. Next on the agenda is approval of the consent agenda items, and these include the minutes of the May 9th, 2023 regular meeting, personnel report, April treasurer's report, April investment report, April journal entries, approving encumbrance listings as follows: to Entrado for the renewal of school messenger in the amount of $24,050, to Paul's Enterprises in the amount of $50,000 for the projected expenses for equipment repairs and maintenance to food service equipment for the 2023-2024 school year, to Johnson Controls in the amount of $37,193.70 for the annual service agreement for the district's electronic entry systems. Another one to Johnson Controls for additional cameras at South High in the amount of $45,872.39. To Akita Box in the amount of $32,000 for the software subscription renewal. To Kansas Educational Technology Consortium for the annual renewal of the WebKids IEP software in the amount of $22,406.38. To Illuminate Education for the renewal of the FastBridge assessment system in the amount of $26,400. To Imagine Learning in the amount of $49,150 for the renewal of Edgenuity. To Mastery Connect for the updated renewal of Mastery Connect in the amount of $26,304. And for the district's annual insurance package renewal for an estimated amount of $1,304,200. We are also asked to approve the dairy products and services bid to Highland Dairy Foods in the amount of $403,348.58. To approve the chemical products and services bid to Accurate Companies in the amount of $28,268.72. To approve the prime vendor request for proposal to F&A Food Sales in the amount of $2,216,114.82. to approve the 2023-2024 food program prices with no changes recommended for student prices and adult guest meals to increase 25 cents. To approve mental health intervention team program request, grant request in the amount of $308,333 with a district match of $102,778. And to approve safety and security grant request in the amount of $22,936.20 to subsidize approximately 50% of the total cost of providing additional cameras at South High. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items? Gabe, second. Do I have Dana? It's been moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda items. Any discussion on this? So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried 6-0. Next on the agenda is the public forum, and we have not had anybody request to speak. So we'll go on to the action agenda, starting with board policy with Ms. Wright.
Good evening. At your last board meeting in May, we had a work session, again, to review some of our policies and make recommendations moving forward. Primarily, those policies were in the student policy section. We discussed the proposed policies. You recommended some modifications, which have been made for you now in the packet. And we are recommending your approval of those tonight. Did you have any questions on any of them?
No questions.
They're all lovely policies.
Wonderful.
Thank you for your work. Do we have a motion to approve them? Dana, was that a motion? And somebody second? Jim will second. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next thing on the agenda is the school site councils for next year with Ms. Exline.
Each year, we ask you to approve the appointments to our school site councils. That is required by Board Policy IB. And our site councils provide invaluable feedback on school improvement initiatives. They allow us to have strong community and family engagement in our schools. And so you have a list of the recommended site councils. I do want you to know that sometimes those groups are a little fluid once school starts, because we many times have parents that would like to be part of that group, and we add them in at that point because we certainly want that engagement. I also want you to know that the list from the Salina Virtual Innovation Academy is not in there. We have a new principal in that building, and Julie is here tonight. We will, as she transitions and is back on duty, we will be getting a site council together for that building. We've not had one in the past, and we will have one this year. So that will be something that you will approve later, but we wanted to go ahead and get the approval on all the other buildings this evening. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
It was interesting to me to note that there are a few schools that hardly have any parents and have very small site councils, and some that are very huge. I guess it's just whoever they can find to be on it. Is that right?
Right. They really do vary in size. And at the beginning of the year, our principals do send out an all call and say, hey, if you would like to join. Those meetings are also noticed. So anybody that wants to come, they are open meetings and can come. So when we've been out, Lisa Peters and I go out each year and we present budget information and just kind of a USD 305 update. And the councils are varying in size, varying in engagement. I think that in some buildings you have a really strong PTA, and so there's engagement there. So the list that we have are the people that have actually agreed to be formally on the council.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion? Mark? Okay, it's been moved. Do you have a second? Bonnie seconds. So it's been moved and seconded that we approve the 2023-2024 school site council membership and meeting dates as presented. Any discussion? Then all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried, 6-0. Thank you. Next on the agenda is the discussion agenda, and that's the Salina Virtual Innovation Academy Student Handbook with Ms. Rector.
Good evening, and I'm here tonight to present some updates to the Salina Virtual Innovation Academy Handbook. And so the main section that has been updated is the roles and responsibility, and some additional language is provided, and also just some updates to current language. And so that has been provided in the packet for you. And so we have information on students, some updates with the roles and responsibilities there. Learning coach, mainly with the orientation aspect. And then if you remember, we are no longer going to have elementary at Salina Virtual Innovation Academy. And so some changing of the language to kind of synthesize that into kind of one section. And so it's no longer going to be broken down into the different grade level sections, but to be one kind of standard section under the learning coach. And then just a couple small updates under teacher and principal. And so the remainder of that handbook mainly comes from the same language you've already approved on the middle school and high school handbooks for the comprehensive high schools. Any questions?
I would just mention that it's clear, we've learned in the process too, so it's nice to have these updates based on what's happened over the last couple of years.
And Julie was part of this update process.
Did you have something to say?
It looks like a lot of the wording is just made more so to mirror the other handbooks that we've been reviewing.
Yes.
Madam President, I would ask that maybe we move this from discussion to action and get it pushed through so that the staff can continue on with their summer work, if the board would so agree.
Is that a motion? Okay. Second from Mark. Any discussion on this? I guess when you just look at the first section, the old language was really concise, and the new language is a little bit wordier. I don't know if that's, I mean, it seems to say the right things, though, so I'm not going to argue with it. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried, 6-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is school board reports and upcoming dates of importance. The first date of importance is the Salina Adult Education Center graduation on Thursday, June 22nd at Lakewood, 7 p.m. Is that with or without robes?
We will find out.
Thank you. Did we have robes last year? I think we might, yes. So we'll get a confirmation on that. Okay. The other date of importance is Wednesday, June 28th, the board retreat at 100 South Santa Fe, Suite 200.
What building is that?
Yeah, what is that?
That is the building on the corner of Iron and Santa Fe where UMB Bank is on the main floor.
Thank you. So we'll have school board reports now. Let's start with Bonnie.
Well, I attended the music programs at South Middle and Lakewood, and both high school graduations.
Thank you. Gabe?
I attended a CKCIE Board of Control meeting. Lots of discussion related to SPED budget and continued projections for next year. Pair vacancies and all those sorts of things. And then a Salina Education Foundation meeting where Superintendent Exline gave a great update on the goings-on of the district, and that led to some further discussion about how SEF can more closely help the district in achieving its mission. So good conversations going there.
Thank you. Dana?
I too attended the Board of Control graduation, and I delivered the You Make a Difference Award to Ryan Sturt.
Jim?
I attended the Education Foundation meetings as well as negotiations, which I have to say are going very well. I really appreciate the relationship that we've got with the Teachers Association. It's very pleasurable.
Thank you. Mark?
I attended both high school graduations, which was a great joy as always, and I made the big sacrifice on behalf of you all to represent the board at the Smoky Hill Education Services Foundation Golf Tournament. So I felt that was a big sacrifice thing to do, and took advantage of that. But it's a really neat event because, we all know, Smoky Hill Service Center covers a lot of geography, and people are there from all across central Kansas coming in, and they do a nice job. So it's a good event to raise publicity for that organization. And the next Smoky Hill board meeting is next Thursday, which I'll be joining via Zoom or Teams, whichever they use, from a lake in Canada. So that should be exciting to see if the technology cooperates or not.
Yes, thank you. I attended the Chamber of Commerce Board meeting, which included a presentation by the Airport Authority about all the comings and goings at the airport. They're working on getting a change in the carrier that comes and goes here, which might lead to better times and schedules for the flights, especially to Chicago, I guess. And I guess I should say the Chamber of Commerce is doing well, again, after dismal days during the pandemic, and everything's in the green and now in the plus column among their finances. Parks and Rec Advisory Board, I went to that, and don't really have anything of note to there, and I went to the graduations. That's all. Let's go over to you, Ms. Exline.
Okay, just a few updates. The first is that Shanna Rector and I were able to meet with Salina Family Healthcare. They reached out to us and wanted to have a conversation about how we might partner to better support our families and their healthcare needs. And that's been a conversation that we've had multiple times. How do we help just bridge that gap in services? And so I think that there will be some exciting things on the horizon from that brainstorming. Summer school has started, and I don't know that we have ever had such a smooth start to summer school as we did this year. It is going really well, and I attribute that to really strong leadership there and to teachers that just really care about kids and make great things happen for our students. So I'm really proud of our efforts there. Our summer food service is also up and running, and that is a big lift, and so I really appreciate what they do to make sure that we have that food security here in Salina for our youngsters. We had our end-of-the-year retreat with our entire administrative staff. We did have an hour-and-a-half session with Visible Learning to get an overview and a lot of excitement about what that looks like and just how empowering it will be and change the way we talk about teaching and learning and the impact that we're having on students. It just feels really respectful to professionalism, and so I'm really looking forward to that. We also did a review of the parent-family belonging data, and we saw increases across the board in the responses from families to how they're feeling about being a valuable part of our school community. And so I think that is good when we think about the mission that was set in response to community-wide input. I do want you to know that I'll be attending the Conscious Discipline training next week, so I will be out of state. Heartland has been using Conscious Discipline for years, and Lisa Larson, their director, invited me to go with her to learn more about that. We have several elementary buildings that have been playing a little bit with some conscious discipline, and so it's a good time for me to get myself more informed on that. So I'll be out of the district next week learning.
Sounds great. Okay, on the agenda is also the Heartland Early Education Update, which is just for reading, and we now have the need for an executive session on negotiations. Can you tell us about that?
Fine.
5 minutes?
Madam President?
Yes.
I move that the Board of Education go into executive session at 5:55 for 10 minutes for the purpose of discussing employer-employee negotiations, because if this matter were discussed in open session, it might jeopardize resolution of the negotiated issues, and that the Board of Education reconvene into open session at 6:05 in the SEC room.
Do I have a second? Dana seconds. Any discussion? Then all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried 6-0. Thank you. We'll be back. We are back, and I don't believe we have any action from that executive session. So we are on to, the adjournment? I have not got that on the bottom. It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried 6-0. Thank you very much.